I still remember the day my neighbor Lucy, who was 72 at the time, took a dreadful tumble on her staircase. She had always been the epitome of independence, juggling her volunteer work at the library with an active social life. But on a quiet Monday afternoon, she missed a single step. The crash echoed, and the entire neighborhood seemed to hold its breath. Lucy was rushed to the hospital with a broken hip. It wasn't just the physical injury that hurt her. The sudden blow to her confidence, the realization that her home, once a sanctuary, could turn into a danger zone in the blink of an eye, shook her to her core. The truth is, devastating falls after age 70 can take away not just your mobility, but also your sense of autonomy. Even worse, one fall often starts a vicious cycle of fear, reduced activity, and further decline. I share Lucy's story because her experience is far more common than many people realize. Seniors face a critical problem. Stairs can become perilous. A single misstep can change everything. Often people try to ignore this risk by moving more slowly or by telling themselves they just have to be more careful. But simple caution isn't always enough. Poor lighting, slick surfaces, or a wobbly railing can create a perfect storm. If you've ever felt a slight flutter of anxiety at the top of your staircase or gripped the handrail so tightly your knuckles turn white, you're not alone. That small twinge of fear is your body and mind signaling that something isn't quite right. The potential consequences of ignoring these signals are heart-wrenching. Longer hospital stays, months of rehab, and a lingering sense that your home is no longer safe. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore 5 essential stairway modifications that can radically lower your risk of a fall. These aren't quick fixes that leave you in the same vulnerable position. Instead, they're carefully considered improvements that provide daily reassurance you're secure on your own steps. Whether you're concerned about a friend, a spouse, or yourself, I promise that if you stay with me through the end, you'll discover solutions most people overlook. The final tip might surprise you because it's so straightforward, yet hardly anyone thinks to do it until it's too late. My background involves years of working with seniors and home safety experts who specialize in fall prevention. I've seen firsthand what happens when someone invests a little time and effort into a safer home environment. It's not just about avoiding a hospital visit. It's about walking with confidence, moving through your home without that gnawing worry that a single misstep could derail your entire life. So before we start, I encourage you to subscribe if you haven't yet and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss any upcoming videos on how to maintain and even improve your independence after 65. Also, let me know how you feel about this topic. If you're finding it important, type 1 in the comments. If you're skeptical or unsure, type 0. I appreciate every bit of feedback because it helps me craft better, more relevant content for you. Now let's take a deep breath. Imagine the day when you can walk up and down your stairs without gripping the handrail in fear. And let's explore the first important change you can make to keep yourself safe. Number 1. Handrails that do more than guard your steps. This may sound obvious. Of course, you need handrails on your stairs. But here's a bolder statement. Most stair railings, as they're commonly installed, fail seniors in the most critical moment. The misconception many seniors hold is that having just one handrail on one side of the staircase is enough. They think they can rely on the wall or lean their hand lightly on the banister for balance. The reality is a single, thin, or loose handrail can't support you in a moment of panic. Marjorie, age 79, once told me she felt her single handrail was a kind of insurance policy against falling. Then one afternoon, she actually slipped near the top step. She reached out only to discover that her railing wobbled just a bit, enough that she couldn't grip it firmly as she lost her balance. The result was a fractured wrist and a bruised tailbone. She was lucky it wasn't worse. During her recovery, Marjorie and her family realized the surprising insight. The handrail itself was poorly secured, and the design didn't match the hand shape of an older adult who sometimes needs more force and stability just to steady herself. If you want to prevent a fall altogether, it's crucial to have stable, properly contoured handrails on both sides of the stairs. That second handrail is not merely a luxury. When you lose balance, you often don't get to choose which side of your body you can use to catch yourself. Having handrails on both sides doubles your chances of preventing a fall and making a safe recovery if you slip. The steps to upgrade this are surprisingly straightforward. First, if you only have one railing, install another along the opposite wall. Make sure it's thick enough for a full grip and that it's mounted at a comfortable height, usually between 34 and 38 inches, though you can adjust according to your specific reach. Second, check the fastening. If the railing budges even slightly, it needs to be reinforced. Install more brackets if necessary, and ensure they're fastened securely to the studs or a strong anchor. Finally, consider handrails that aren't just simple rods, but ones with a shape that fits the contour of your hand. It might cost a little extra, but the emotional benefit is enormous. You'll move up and down your stairs with confidence instead of tiptoeing in worry. You'll feel secure, protected, and more in control of your home environment. A home is supposed to be a refuge, and with the right handrails, your staircase can become part of that refuge rather than a looming hazard. Number 2, shed light on the hidden dangers with better illumination. We often hear that just turning on a light at night is enough to see your way, but the bold reality is that most seniors are drastically underestimating how critical proper lighting can be, especially around staircases. A common misconception is that a single bright overhead bulb will do the job, when in truth, lighting that creates shadows on steps can be just as dangerous as having no lighting at all. Ernest, 84, found this out the hard way. His home had a single dim overhead light in the stairwell. He thought it was plenty, as his eyes had adjusted over the years. One early morning, he was carrying a small box down the stairs, and the box itself cast a shadow over the steps. Unable to see the edge of the next step, Ernest misjudged his footing and stumbled. He managed to grab the railing just in time, but the shock of how close he came to a serious fall left him deeply shaken. Even so, it awakened him to the fact that a single overhead light is not enough when depth perception and visual clarity weaken with age. The surprising insight is that multiple sources of light, placed strategically, make all the difference. Rather than relying on one bright bulb, consider installing LED lights along each step, or at least at the start and end of the staircase. Some people place soft illumination on the wall near the floor to highlight the depth of each step. This layered approach ensures you're not contending with harsh shadows, and that each step is clearly visible at all times of day or night. If wiring is an issue, motion sensor LED strips can be a simple, battery-powered alternative. They automatically switch on when you approach, so you never have to fumble for a switch in the dark. The practical steps can be broken down this way. First, check your current lighting situation at different times: morning, afternoon, dusk, and nighttime. Where are the shadows? Where do you strain to see the edge of a step? Second, add or upgrade lighting sources to minimize these blind spots. Third, consider color temperature. Warmer lights can be gentler on older eyes, but you also want enough brightness to define the steps. If overhead fixtures are your preference, installing a high-lumen bulb with adjustable brightness can be a good choice. Once you have proper illumination, you'll feel that immediate wave of relief every time you go up or down the stairs. No more second-guessing your footing. No more bracing for a possible misstep. It's a simple fix, yet it can mean the difference between a calm, confident stride and a shaky, uncertain descent. If you're finding these insights helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here and still engaged. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe now and turn on notifications so you won't miss videos like this. Your presence and feedback mean a lot, as it helps us continue to provide information that can genuinely make a difference in your daily life. Number 3, tame the slippery steps with no-slip surfaces. Most people accept that stairs can be a little slick, especially if they're made of polished wood or smooth tile. The bold, counterintuitive truth is that you don't have to settle for that. The misconception is that a non-slip mat at the top and bottom of the stairs will protect you enough. But these small mats often slide themselves, or they don't fully cover the area where your foot lands. In reality, each step should have its own non-slip coverage to drastically reduce the chance of a fall. Consider Gloria, 77, who was terrified of her own staircase after nearly losing her balance one morning. Her steps were hardwood, and she loved the look of them. But they became dangerously slick after routine floor polishing. She tried wearing shoes with better grip inside the house, but as she said, "I don't want to have to remember to put on my shoes just to get a glass of water from upstairs." For Gloria, a no-slip solution was key to reclaiming her comfort in her own home. Here's a surprising insight. While no-slip treads or adhesive strips are common, many seniors resist them because they think they're unsightly or they'll ruin the look of their stairs. However, there are now low-profile, transparent no-slip strips that blend in with various flooring types. Some even come in decorative designs that can add a bit of style. You can maintain the beauty of wood or tile stairs while still adding a critical layer of grip. The practical advice is straightforward. Measure each step to ensure you buy strips or treads that fit securely across the entire width. Clean and dry the step thoroughly before application to ensure proper adhesion. Press them firmly into place, following the manufacturer's instructions. Some treads are peel and stick. Others require a bit more installation effort. If you're concerned about the look, choose transparent strips or a subtle pattern that complements your flooring. The emotional benefit of tackling slippery steps is immense. No more heart-pounding moments when your foot slips, even slightly. You can walk with assurance, focusing on what you're about to do rather than the fear of losing balance. And if you have grandchildren visiting, you can watch them bound up and down the stairs without that knot of worry in your stomach. Feeling safe on your own stairs is liberating. It removes one more layer of hesitation from your daily life, giving you back the spontaneity to move around your home whenever you want. Number 4, simplify transitions and obstacles with threshold modifications. One of the greatest misunderstandings about stair safety is thinking only about the main flight of stairs. The truth is, many falls happen on just 1 or 2 steps, often at a front entrance or a back door that leads to a patio. Even a single step that's slightly higher or lower than the rest can pose a hidden danger. Seniors frequently assume they can handle these small transitions with ease. But that little mismatch in step height or a protruding threshold plate can catch your toe or throw off your balance in an instant. James, a 76, never worried about his back porch step until one day he was carrying a basket of laundry to hang outside. The threshold was about half an inch higher than it should have been, creating a minuscule lip that caught his foot. He stumbled forward, dropping the basket and twisting his ankle. Thankfully, it wasn't a severe injury, but it forced him to reevaluate the minor inconsistencies around his home's entrances. The surprising twist is that the difference between a safe step and a dangerously high threshold can be just an inch or less. There are practical, straightforward ways to fix these issues. First, assess all entrances to your home, including side doors, garage steps, and back patios. Note any irregularities: a slightly higher threshold, an uneven step, a dip, or worn surface. Second, consider installing a small ramp or adjusting the height of the threshold. Some thresholds can be removed or replaced with a low-profile, beveled edge. For outdoor steps, slip-resistant concrete overlays or rubber ramps can level out the area, making transitions smoother. The emotional payoff here is huge. You stop feeling the need to carefully hover your foot every time you step outside. Instead, you can walk freely, carry groceries without fear, and enjoy your porch or patio without scanning the ground for potential hazards. It's a subtle change in your home environment, but a massive step in reducing overall anxiety. If you're still with me and you see the value in what we're discussing, please comment number 4 below. Let me know this is resonating with you. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so now. Your support allows us to keep sharing these critical tips that can genuinely transform daily life for seniors. Number 5, elevate your safety with assistive technology. Now here's the point most people don't consider until it's almost too late. We often assume that assistive technology is for those who are already significantly mobility impaired. The bolder statement is that installing something like a stair lift or a specialized step assist device before you're in crisis can actually extend your independence for years. The misconception is that a stair lift is an admission of defeat or frailty. In truth, it's a smart safeguard. You might not need it every day, but on days when your knees are acting up or when you're recovering from a minor injury, Having that technology in place can make the difference between staying in your home and thinking about moving to a single-level residence. Take the story of George, 80, who was fiercely proud of his physical abilities. He still golfed once a week, and he balked at the idea of installing a stair lift. Then he suffered a mild stroke that compromised his balance on his left side. Suddenly, climbing stairs was not just difficult but dangerous. Reluctantly, he and his wife installed a stair lift. While George feared it would symbolize a loss of independence, he was surprised to find he actually felt more in control of his life. He could choose to walk up the stairs on good days or ride the lift on days he felt unsteady. The freedom to make that choice was deeply empowering rather than limiting. Here's the surprising insight. Assistive technology doesn't always mean big mechanical chairs. Sometimes it's a simple device that helps reduce the height of each step, or a high-traction, motorized platform that moves up and down a short flight of stairs. For instance, some modern systems are more compact and sleek than the bulky stair lifts you might imagine. The key is to understand that these devices aren't a sign of giving up. They're a proactive measure to keep you in your home, living life on your terms. If you're considering a stair lift or another form of assistive technology, start by getting an assessment from a professional. They can identify which solutions fit your home's layout and your mobility level. You can even get multiple quotes to compare prices. Yes, there's a cost involved, but weigh that against the potential medical bills and the emotional toll of a serious fall. The sense of relief you'll feel knowing you have that backup plan can be truly life-changing. Picture yourself waking up on a morning when your arthritis flares. Instead of dreading the stairs, you can glide up and down effortlessly. That kind of peace of mind is priceless. As we come to the end of our exploration of these 5 stairway modifications, take a moment to see how each step fits together. First, solid handrails on both sides give your arms the power to break a slip before it leads to injury. Second, proper lighting ensures you're never blindly navigating shadows. Third, non-slip surfaces tame those slick steps so you don't have to tiptoe. Fourth, threshold modifications tackle those sneaky single-step entrances that often go unnoticed. And finally, assistive technology stands as a smart investment that can keep you independent in your own home much longer than you might think. The real magic happens when you combine these changes. Picture walking confidently on a well-lit staircase with sturdy rails on both sides and slip-resistant steps beneath your feet. The threshold at the bottom is smooth, so you don't stumble when you step onto the landing. And on days when you're feeling less stable, you have a technological backup ready and waiting. Can you feel the shift in your mental state? Instead of viewing your stairs as an obstacle, you see them as just another part of a safe, enjoyable home. Now let's gather everything and personalize it. Which of these modifications resonates most strongly with you right now? Maybe your staircase lighting is poor, and you realize how dangerous that could be. Maybe you've been meaning to add a second handrail for months, but never got around to it. Or perhaps the idea of a stair lift intrigues you, but you were hesitant because it felt like an admission of weakness. Whichever point struck a chord, consider taking one small step today. Even just researching non-slip strips or calling a contractor for a quote on a second handrail can set the wheels in motion. Envision, for a moment, waking up next week, next month, or even next year in a home that's optimized for your safety. You'll walk with an easier stride, free from the tightness in your chest that anxiety often brings. This is why it's so important to act now, rather than waiting for an accident to force you to make changes. The stakes are high. A single fall can cost months of recovery time and erode your confidence in daily activities. So I urge you to pick at least one of these 5 modifications and plan how you can implement it. Let that be the start of a safer, brighter, and more secure environment. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Which stairway modification do you think you'll tackle first? And share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your insights might inspire someone else who's on the fence. Reading through your comments and experiences is a joy, and it reminds me why sharing these tips matters so much. Before you go, if you found this discussion helpful, please give this video a like. It signals that you value content focused on concrete, life-changing advice for seniors. If you haven't subscribed yet, Do it now and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to strengthen your independence. And by all means, if you know someone who might need these tips, maybe a relative or a friend, consider sharing this video with them. You never know how a simple suggestion could prevent a life-altering injury. You have the power to change your home from a place of hidden hazards to a sanctuary that supports you in every step you take. Take that power, use it, and keep on living your best life. I look forward to the day when you tell me you're moving around your house without a hint of fear. Remember, your home and your life can be adapted to serve you at every age, and it's never too late to start. Now let's wrap up with a final word of encouragement. You've absorbed some critical tips and given yourself the gift of possibility. Falling down the stairs isn't a given. You can intervene. You can decide that fear won't rule your daily routines. This is about prevention, about preserving the life you love. I'll be here, cheering you on, ready to share more guidance on keeping your golden years both golden and safe. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.